Oh hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today, I want to discuss about the types of income because everybody is trying to get rich, but they don't really think about chasing the right type of income when it comes to their finances. So we have three types of income. So you have the earned income, you have the portfolio income, and you have the passive income. And just to go straight into this, the earned income is the one that's going to be taxed the most, and that's the one people tend to chase, which is a bit counterintuitive. But the earned income is taxed, I think, up to 45 to 50%, depending on which country you are living in. The portfolio one is kind of taxed with around 20%, and on the passive one, you can even go down to 0% tax. And I'll explain each one individually in the following three chapters. So starting with the first chapter, the earned income, to put it in plain English, that's pretty much the income you receive from any type of job. And this one is pretty much the most taxed out of all three incomes. And again, as I said before, most people start chasing this type of income, and I think all their lives is focused pretty much to increase this one. And it's a bit counterintuitive because this one is the most taxed out of all the three incomes. So let me just try to paint you guys a picture. So the most companies now function on the 1 to 6 rule, and I think this rule was developed by the US Army. So that means 6 people can be led by one person. More than 6 people, then the actual managerial work is not really effective. So I'm just gonna put up on the screen now the perfect company that has 6 levels, and each level has 1 to 6 ratio. And I really want you guys to kind of understand this concept because everybody's, because of the school system, because how I guess you've been taught by your parents, and it's the same for my case. Everybody, what everybody is saying now: go to school, get a great job. Go to school, get a high-paying job. Go to school, learn, get a great job. And everybody's pushing for this. But you have to think about this. So as you see on the screen, you have the perfect triangle of a company of 6 levels from 1 to 6, and 6 to 1 again, employees to manager. So if let's say you started your job here at the first level, and then to get a promotion, and we're thinking everybody's kind of the same level, put in the same work, and we're just going to calculate your chances to get higher up the food chain. So for each level, you're gonna get a 1 to 6 chance to progress. So from jumping from level 6 to level 5, that means you have a 16% chance to promote. Going to the next level, you have 3%, and then 0.4%, and then 0.08%, and then 0.013%. So that means if you want to be a CEO of a company, you have a chance of 1 in 10,000, and that's based on a medium-sized company, if you think about this. So the higher up you try to get up the corporate ladder, or in any type of corporation, the chances always become to the power to the 6th. So 6 times harder to become a supervisor. Then out of the full list of supervisors, which are already really good, it's 6 times harder to get to a manager. Then 6 times harder to get to a director. And then 6 times harder to get to a vice president. And then 6 times harder to become a CEO, which is crazy. And then every single time you increase your level, most companies kind of go between a 10 to 20% pay increase, and that 10 to 20% pay increase is in the highest bracket of tax. So that means you kind of lose, if you, let's say, get 10% pay increase, right, then you lose probably 40% out of that 10% just to tax. So out of the 10%, actually what you get in your pocket is probably 6%, which is not too great. And all that work you put in for 2 to 4 or 5 years to go up a level, it's only for 6%. And then there's no guarantee that something might happen. Somebody would take your job, something happens to the economy and you lose your job. And then I think this is what I'm trying to say about this earned income. It's great, it's a good starting point, and I'm not saying try to get the highest level of income from this one, but I really want to kind of draw your eyes on this is the highest taxed type of income. And if you think about this, if you put all the effort into achieving 6% after 5 years, maybe it's worth saving money out of this income and start putting into the other types of income, the portfolio and the passive one. And the second type, as we said, is the portfolio type income. And this one is quite straightforward if you guys remember in our previous conversations about types of assets. So pretty much a portfolio income is when you kind of buy stocks, bonds, maybe real estate, and you try to sell it later. It's quite a straightforward discussion, and I think the correct term for this is capital gains, and there's a tax of 20%. And I think it's most countries have a 20% tax on capital gains. So that means you buy a property for let's say $100,000, and then you sell it and you for let's say $200,000 after 10 years. That means 20% you give it to the government, so that means $20,000 you pay to the government. But still, if you start managing a decent portfolio at a young age, 20% is a lot better than 50% if you think of it. So if you could increase your portfolio income faster than you could increase your earned income, maybe you should start focusing a bit of your attention to this one. Because let's say it takes 5 years or 7 years or 4 years, depending on the type of company and industry, to jump one level. And we discussed jumping one level, you need 16% the chance, and also probably 5 to 6 years to get a pay increase, which is kind of 6%. Maybe it's worth investing a bit more time here, where you get taxed 20%, not probably 45% or 50%, depending on which state, when it comes to income tax, or sorry, not income tax, but earned income. And that will be it for this one. It's simple. You do your research depending on what type of portfolio you want to invest in, and do the research, figure out where the market is heading, put some money in this, and I'm sure you'll do just fine after a proper due diligence. So when it came to the previous two types of incomes, you had the earned income and the portfolio income, which are going to be higher tax than this one. So the passive income is the one that the big boys play, and you could actually get it down to 0%. So that means you need to create a company or a corporation and then put everything through it. So you could, let's say, buy multiple properties and rent them out and create a business through this. Well, you get probably a different level of tax in different level of states, and then you get a lot of tax breaks and tax incentives in this area. So you could easily get it down to sub 20%. I think standard is 20%, but you could get it easily under a sub 20 because every company gets it. So I'll definitely suggest you guys to Google, YouTube, pretty much how much Amazon, I think, have paid in 2019 in taxes, and check how much money they made. You'll get some ridiculous figures of profit in the billions, and this is how much tax they paid on it. because they get so many incentives from different states and from the government that they manage to get their tax to 0%. I can't really give you guys a straight recipe for this because every industry is different, but what I would suggest, if you definitely want to get into this era where everybody wants to be, right, to get your tax down to 0%, I'll definitely suggest starting with some decent tax books and finding a decent tax advisor and having a discussion on, I'm thinking of investing in real estate and maybe renting them out. When should I start thinking of investing a bit more time and money in a tax advisor and then creating a company and see what tax incentives does my state or government give me? And with that knowledge, you could start funneling all your business in that company. And again, always stay within the law and always have a decent tax advisor when it comes to these type of things. But what I want you guys to take from this is the earned income is a great starting point. But with the amount of money you get from there, I would really want to advise you and beg you to start thinking about investing that money into portfolio and passive income. With the help of an advisor, with a lot of research, I'm sure you guys you will do really well in this area. But again, I want you guys to stop and think for yourselves. Don't go with the classical system where study hard, get a job, and that's it, because that's the era where people are taxed the highest. And that would be it, guys. All the best, take care, and hope this was informative.